The bells toll, incense chokes the air, and through the fog of war, a giant walks armored in relics, crowned with flame. The ground trembles beneath its steps, bolters roar like choirs, its fists are prayers made steel. Each strike rings like a sermon, each round a hymn to vengeance. Across the battlefield, the Death Guard advance a tide of rot and laughter. Their plague fog rolls thick and foul, swallowing the trenches whole. Yet through that pestilent mist, the Sisters of Battle stand defiant, and at their head strides the Paragon Warsuit of the Steel Angels, faith forged into armor, fury given form. A walking cathedral of fire and light, facing down decay itself. This isn't just a war of bolter and blade. It's a war of belief, holiness versus horror. Welcome to the Halloween finale of Brush and Blood, where the candles burn low, the relics gleam bright, and tonight, salvation has power armor.
Welcome back to Brush and Blood, where Warhammer meets the real world. Tonight, incense burns, relics gleam, and the hymn of bolter fire echoes through the smoke. The forces of decay still spread across the stars, but the faithful do not falter. We're painting the Paragon Warsuit of the Steel Angels, a holy engine of war, piloted by the Sisters of Battle, the Emperor's most devout warriors. These aren't just soldiers in armor, they are walking cathedrals, each step a prayer, each strike a sermon. When the Death Guard spread their plague fog across the battlefield, the Paragon doesn't retreat. It charges through the corruption, flames roaring, relics glowing, turning decay into ash and despair into silence. Disclaimer: tonight's episode contains righteous fury, divine fire, and more gothic drama than most painters can handle. Proceed with reverence and maybe a candle nearby. So grab your brush, light your incense, and prepare to witness faith forged in steel.
Let's get it on!
What are Paragon Warsuits? Paragon Warsuits are relics of the Adepta Sororitas, towering exo-armor piloted by elite sisters chosen for their purity and zeal. Each one is anointed with relics, holy oils, and scripture etched across its armor. They are not just machines, they are reliquaries, carrying the bones of martyrs, fragments of saints, or shards of holy weapons within their plating. To pilot a warsuit is to take on a sacred duty, not just to kill, but to stand as a walking sermon, a cathedral of war. How does one become a pilot? Only the most devoted sisters are chosen. Candidates must pass trials of faith, combat, and purity, their lives weighed by the ecclesiarchy. Many die in preparation. The ones who survive are clad in steel, their voices amplified to carry prayers across battlefields. Fun facts: Paragon Warsuits are armed with massive, sanctified weapons, heavy bolters, maces of absolution, or blessed swords the size of men. They often stride at the front of Sororitas armies, leading the charge while hymns of battle echo through their vox systems. The Order of the Steel Angels is especially renowned for their warsuits, each one painted in silver trim and black armor, a vision of divine judgment descending from on high. Tabletop tie-in. In Warhammer 40k, Paragon Warsuits are elite heavy infantry tough, devastating and terrifying when they strike in trios, like angels of steel falling upon the enemy. Their signature ability, Righteous Paragon, makes them even deadlier in battle, granting a +1 to hit and to wound rolls when fighting vehicles or monsters. It's the moment when faith becomes fury, and even the mightiest foes fall beneath the sisters' holy wrath. Lore vignettes. The Angels of Carrion Gate. The heretic cult of Carrion Gate had turned a city into a fortress. Their weapons lined the walls, their banners mocked the Emperor, Then the bells rang. The gates burst open. 3 Paragon Warsuits of the Steel Angels marched forward, bolters roaring. Every shot tore through stone and flesh alike. Every strike of their maces crushed tanks into wreckage. To the defenders, it was not a battle, it was a sermon of steel. The cult was erased in one night. Their fortress turned into a cathedral of ash. The last march of Sister Amara. On the plague world of Droskin, a single Paragon Warsuit held the line against a Death Guard advance. Sister Amara fought until her weapons melted, until her armor was cracked and bleeding. She prayed through her Vox speakers as the swarm closed in. By the Emperor's will, I do not fall. When the world was finally retaken decades later, they found her warsuit buried in rust and rot, still standing, her body fossilized inside, her prayer echoes locked in the Vox. To this day, pilgrims travel to kneel before the rusted shell, the saint who never fell. Real-world parallels Knights of Faith. The Paragon Warsuits mirror the idea of knights in shining armor, but raised to a Gothic extreme. Like the Crusaders of old, they are both warriors and symbols meant to inspire awe as much as fear. Their armor isn't just protection. It's a sermon of steel, engraved with scripture, hung with relics, and polished to blind the heretical. Their design echoes cathedrals, arches of ceramite, stained glass optics, and reliquaries carried into battle. Story: the Siege of Antioch, 1098. During the First Crusade, starving crusaders held a city against overwhelming odds. Their armor was ragged, their supplies gone. But when a relic, the Holy Lance, was discovered, faith transformed despair into fury. They surged from the gates, driving back armies that should have crushed them. That is the essence of the Paragon Warsuit. Relic and faith turned into armor, despair turned into steel. The Knights Hospitaller and the defense of Rhodes, 1,522. For 6 months, the Knights Hospitaller held the island of Rhodes against the full might of the Ottoman Empire. Outnumbered nearly 10-1, their black armor and white crosses became a symbol of divine defiance. They fought not for survival, but for faith, every cannon blast answered by prayer. Like the Paragon, they stood between civilization and corruption, believing the battlefield itself could become holy ground. The winged hussars at the Siege of Vienna, 1683, when all seemed lost, Polish winged hussars thundered down from the hills, their wings screaming in the wind. Their charge broke the siege and saved Europe from conquest. The Paragon Warsuits echo that same image: radiant, unstoppable, faith-driven warriors who descend like angels when hope is gone. Modern echoes firefighters, medics, and rescue teams. Even today, the spirit of the Paragon lives on in the real world's Knights of Compassion. Firefighters charging into flames, medics running toward the wounded people who wear armor of a different kind. They are faith and courage in motion, standing where others fall back. Faith has always built its own armor, whether it's forged from steel, conviction, or duty. The Paragon Warsuit is that timeless idea made literal. The belief that righteousness can be weaponized. Pop culture parallels. You've seen echoes of the Paragon Warsuits across games and film visions, of courage wrapped in armor, of humanity made larger than life. Overwatch's Diva, a pilot inside a towering mech, fighting not just with weapons, but with spirit. Like the Paragon, she's the heart inside the machine, the soul that turns technology into heroism. When Diva charges into the fight, it isn't metal that inspires people. It's her will. The Sisters of Battle are the same. The armor is divine, but it's the faith inside that makes it unstoppable. Helldivers' mech suits. Brutal, efficient tools of war. designed for the dirtiest fights, where survival means turning yourself into walking artillery. Paragon Warsuits echo that raw practicality, heavy, loud, devastating, but with sanctity layered over steel. Where Helldivers drop into chaos to enforce democracy, the Paragons descend to purify heresy. Both embody that same terrifying courage, stepping willingly into the storm because someone has to. Movie parallel, The Edge of Tomorrow, 2014, soldiers in exosuits, trapped in endless battle, dying and rising again. Their machines make them powerful, but their endurance, their refusal to give in, is what saves them. That's the same spirit within the Paragon, relentless persistence wrapped in iron faith. They don't fight for glory, they fight because surrender isn't an option. The Paragon Warsuit blends all of these archetypes, the pilot, the knight, the martyr, into one towering image of faith, weaponized. It's not just armor, it's a covenant. Where others see machinery, the sisters see miracle. And on the battlefield, that miracle walks. And there it is, the Paragon Warsuit of the Steel Angels, a walking cathedral, a shrine of steel, a sermon that thunders louder than any organ. When it moves, faith trembles and heresy burns. This has been another haunting step in our Brush and Blood Halloween arc, from the rotting laughter of the Death Guard, to the buzzing swarms of typhus, and now to the holy engines of wrath marching through the smoke. The war between plague and purity rages on. But next time, the fire takes human form. Will descend from steel to flesh with the Ministorum priest. Part zealot, part preacher, part flamethrower enthusiast. A man who doesn't just deliver sermons, he screams them over the roar of burning heretics. Did you know? Many Ministorum priests carry relics older than the Imperium itself. Finger bones of saints, pages of burned scripture, even shards of holy weapons. And yes, sometimes they'll bless their flamer fuel before battle. That's not a joke. That's just Tuesday in the Ecclesiarchy. Disclaimer: this episode is for entertainment purposes only. Lore or history details may not be exact. This is about fun storytelling and painting minis, not perfect accuracy. So tell me in the comments, would you rather stand beside a Paragon Warsuit in the heat of battle, or lead the faithful as a Ministorum priest, shouting the Emperor's gospel through flame and fury? Either way, faith is the flame, and tonight, it still burns bright in the dark.
Yes! Not too bad.
Next on Brush and Blood, the flames burn bright with the Ministorum priest.